of the Sadhanapada is in the 17th sutra. Patanjali says, Drashtu drishyayo sanyogo heya hetuhu. Heya hetuhu means that which is to be avoided, the cause that is to be avoided. Heyam, that which is the suffering that is to be avoided. Hetuhu is the cause. The cause of the avoidable suffering is drashtu drishyayo samyogaha. Drashta is the seer. Drishyam, that which is seen. Therefore, the cause of the avoidable suffering is the identification of the drashta with the drishyam. As I said, sutra has these characteristics. So there are some rules you have to follow, about 9 or 10 rules. One of them is saravat. It is the essence of a topic. Vishvato mukam, all encompassing. So look at how it is written. Very carefully chosen words. Drashtu drishyayo samyogo heya hetuhu. Avoidable suffering. Okay, the heyam, it is not something that we have to live with. It's clearly Patanjali says it is unnecessary that we are suffering because of our wrong identification. So the cause of the avoidable suffering is the identification of the drashta, that is the real you, the drishyam, that which is seen, the material world, including our bodies. Liberation is simply the realization that the knower and the known are two different categories. Suffering ceases the moment you realize I am the witness of the pain, not the owner of the pain. This brings a lot of peace of mind for us. Okay, so for those who attended one of the story classes, I believe it's a Puranjana Upakyanam, where we saw the story of Puranjana and Avijñata. So there I told this story of Chitraketu. This comes in the Bhagavata Purana. So a lot of the stories we're going to see, they're either from Ramayana, Mahabharata, or the Bhagavata Purana. So the Bhagavata Puranam is essentially, Bhagavatam means the bhakta, story of the bhaktas. So it has all the story of people who were devotees of Vishnu. The legend goes that Vyasa, if there's one person who has written pretty much most of the Puranas, it is Veda Vyasa. So Veda Vyasa is considered a incarnation of Vishnu. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa. Vyasa is a Rupa of Vishnu. Vishnu Rupaya, they're all one, the same. And therefore, Vyasa, he wrote all the Puranas, and he wrote Mahabharata. But after that, he was still unhappy. At that time, Narada, the divine celestial sage, came to him and told him, okay, write about all the bhaktas, the devotees, and then your sense of dissatisfaction will be removed. So that is why Vyasa wrote Bhagavata Purana. So in the Bhagavata Puranam, there's this famous story of Chitraketu. It is a profound and somewhat shocking story illustrating how this association with the Prakriti creates suffering and how wisdom breaks it. So this is the context. King Chitraketu, he had everything. He had wealth, many wives, and beautiful queens, and he had a lot of power. But he was miserable because he had no son. So this void made him feel, the description is like a garland of flowers on a hungry man. A beautiful, nice smelling flowers, but what use it is to a hungry man. So then one day, sage Angira Muni, he visited the king and he saw the distress of the king. Therefore, he performed a yajna. Yajna means a sacrificial. He chants a lot of prayers before the fire, and he performed a yajna. And he, from the remnants, so they offer food like different things, and they offer it as a propitiation for the higher power, for the gods and all that. And he gave the remnants to the king's favorite queen, Kritadyuti. Okay, and both the but he warned this. So this is your karma. You cannot escape your karma. Since you really want a son, you will get a son. That the son born from this yajna will be both the cause, it will be a blessing, cause of joy, and it will also be a cause of sorrow. That you cannot, it's in your karma, you cannot escape that. So joy is harsha, jubilation, and then shoka is sadness, lamentation. So the child was named Harsha Shoka. So its child was born, king was ecstatic. His identity merged completely with the child, and he thought, I am the boy's father. This boy is my happiness. Then what happens? So he can't escape karma. There was jealousy between the other wives. Oh, she had so many queens. They, in their jealousy, poisoned the infant. The child died. Then Chitraketu, suffering was boundless. He collapsed, weeping, unable to accept that his son had died. Okay, and then Angiras again comes back. This time he comes with Narada Muni. So to teach the king the truth of the distinction between the body and the mind complex and the Purusha, that is the real us, they use their mystic powers to call the jiva, the sukshma shariram. So what happens after the body? The body is just a sthula shariram. And inside the body, there's a sukshma shariram. Sukshma shariram consists of the mind, senses, prana, everything. Once the body dies, sukshma shariram goes away. Like a jiva, it travels to another body, takes abode there. And this happens till there is the realization that so there are all these imprints, right? And once that's the samskaras, once the realization happens that all this is just inert things, then the whole jiva dissolves. So Patanjali is going to talk about in the 4th chapter. We got a small, when there's all the imprints are gone, the gunas have no purpose for the Purusha. Purusha knows it's in the mind-body complex, the knower knows its true nature as the Purusha. All this is just a reflection causing all these problems. So once that is known, the entire mind-body complex dissolves. There's no need for that. So the jiva. So Narada calls the jiva. So jiva is wandering, looking for another body. But Narada Muni, with his mystic powers, he calls the jiva. The jiva again enters the child's body. Now it is the jiva that is speaking. And look at the profound things that the jiva says. So the jiva is now talking, and in the jiva, so the child wakes up. So when Narada Muni summoned the jiva, then Chitraketu was overjoyed. My son, I'm your father. Come. The jiva is looking like this, like dazed. So like the jiva woke up from a sleep, and then the Chitraketu says, my son, I'm your father. Come to me. Come to me. The reawakened jiva looked at the king coldly and spoke words of pure Sankhya philosophy. In the cycle of births and deaths, I have rotated through millions of, not just human bodies, through species. I've had millions of fathers and mothers. Which father are you referring to? You are just a temporary acquaintance in a long journey. I am not your son. You're not my father. These are just roles we played in a play. Now the play is over. So, and then the jiva again left the body of the child. So the lessons, king then understood the real lesson. It looks harsh, but this is the reality. Because of his identification and the loss, he is suffering. But when he knows the truth, a sense of calm pervades him. So some summary is that suffering is like watching a movie and thinking you are the character. Let's say a character is getting shot. You are the character getting shot. Yoga is realizing you are the one sitting in the theater. So this is the story of King Chitraketu from Śrimad Bhāgavatam. Śrimad Bhāgavatam has many of these beautiful stories. So this is Rishi Angira. Okay, so the Shri Jiva Uvacha Kasmin Janmanjami Mahyam Pitarau Mata Bhavan Karma Bir Brahmyana Brahmyamanasya Devatir Yan Naradishu. In which birth were these two, my father and mother? I have had millions of parents in my journey through various species, and relationships are like travelers meeting at a riverbank, temporary and fleeting.